Big Dog here with the Forex Market outlook for the week. And what is going on with the market? Well, there's a few things that's happening right now. Firstly, over the weekend, we had, of course, the oil price war, which gapped at the opening on Sunday. We saw a big gap in the market across all the Canadian crosses. One. Number two, we had the Tokyo market fall 5% over the fears of the coronavirus, which created a big sell-off on most of the Asian crosses. In fact, a lot of volatility, a flash crash on the Asian currency pairs. And that's what created this big move that we had on Sunday evening. So remember something as well. We also got low liquidity on Sunday evenings, all right, because it's the Tokyo market. And when that happens and we have all this news, it just escalates the move and starts hitting stops. We saw moves like on the Euro New Zealand dollar, 1,200 pip move very quickly. In fact, in 20 minutes, we saw 1,150 pip move on that pair alone. It was crazy. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look and see what it did over the weekend, and or at least at the open, and how it affected our swing trade setup. Because if you're on the right side of the trend, you should be good. And if you're using an EA that is built in a logic to be able to wait for conditions to line up first before deploying a trade, you should be good too. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Aussies. We're going to take a look at the New Zealand dollars. We're going to take a look at some of the JPYs and see exactly what happened and how it would have affected our trades. And of course, what are we going to do this week regarding trading? Let's go ahead and check it out right after this. All right, traders, so yes, we had a lot of volatility over the last 24 hours. In fact, the last 12 hours, we had a crazy movement out in the market. And the market's pretty much gone ahead and moved back to the levels that it started off. So we had a lot of movement like on the New Zealand, Euro New Zealand dollar. We had a lot of movement on that pair. We had a lot of movement on Euro JPY. We had a lot of movement on Aussie CAD, because Aussie CAD was affected by two things. The oil, all right? It gapped in at the start of the session. We had a big gap in Aussie Canadian, and then what happened was we had the flash crash, and then Aussie went ahead and sold off. So it was a big move, but you can see we're actually back up again and still positive on Aussie Canadian. Let's go ahead and take a look at the details right here. So this is the flash crash news and the stock news that came across the board based on Tokyo stocks falling 5% based on the fears in China, or at least around the coronavirus. Then we also had, of course, the oil price war that sparked the market panic, that we saw a big gap in the market over the weekend. So there's a lot of things taking place at the moment right now, and we'll take a look at US oil and see how US oil is set up. And we'll probably see it set up very nicely to the downside. Let's start off with the US oil, right? Let's go to US oil down here and take a look at US oil. Take a look at the big gap that we saw over US oil. Big gap right here, bringing us all the way down to close to $26 a barrel. In fact, the low was at $27.35. That is huge. But listen here, I want to go ahead and point this out, all right? Take a look at my technical analysis. Did we not predict or anticipate that price is going to move down to the back side of the channel, or at least the bottom side of the channel? Yes, we did, all right? And you can see that we've come back down to support right here, and price is starting to stall. You see it's gone back up and it's getting a bit of a bullish move. So it's gone down here and it's found support. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the chart on Aussie CAD. Here is Aussie CAD right here. Okay, so Aussie CAD was tied up inside consolidation. We had a breakout right here, and then we had over the weekend we had this gap. Now we were looking to buy on US dollar CAD. The reason why we were buying on US dollar CAD is because we wanted to buy off the support going long. And as we take a look over here, this is the document I fill out every day. And you can see that I've gone ahead and updated actually last night because I checked it. Now we stand aside. Now before we were looking to buy, now we're going to stand aside because price needs to correct itself. All right, we need to see price come back to retest. So we're looking for price to go ahead and retest and go long. But listen here, if price continues to move and gets up to the top right here, guess what? We may be starting to look to sell again. So if price can move, or at least our options, our trading options, can move between looking to want to go ahead and sell, or at least looking to want to go ahead and buy, and then go ahead and looking to sell. With this type of market reaction that we've seen over the last 12 hours, we could easily convert from being a buyer now to be a seller, because price has already moved up to our resistance levels, and now we're looking to move to sell off from that resistance. All right. So if we go ahead and continue and take a look over here, I've gone ahead and said stand aside. Now, when I say stand aside, that means I'm not going to deploy any trading system at the moment right now. I'm going to wait until price gets to resistance and then possibly go ahead and look to sell. Right? So I wanted to get up to the downward trend line, or at the top of the channel, and then I'll look to sell. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at Aussie Swiss. Aussie Swiss, whoa, look at that. Big bearish move to the downside. But I'm just pretty much going to stand on the sideline if I'm not in already, because I'm going to look for price to come back up to resistance. And in fact, if we can see price moving back up, doing something like this, then maybe we're going to see a breakout to the upside. So at this point, I'll look to sell. If it trades above that, I'll look to sell here. And if it trades above that, I'm reversing. I'm thinking bullish. All right? But for right now, I've said, let's stand aside and wait for price to come back up to resistance. And the reason why is because I don't really have a support level I can go ahead and, use. This is where I'm expecting my support to be at. And price is trading between that level, so which means that I've got to wait for it to retrace back up, and then look to go ahead and sell back down south. And if it doesn't do that, we simply stand aside. Listen, we don't have to trade everything that moves. All right? We're doing pretty good based on our strategy that we're trading right now, and we're running in with a good set of profits. Check this out. All right? This is how we're trading right here. We've already captured about 9.8%, 9.6%, and this last 12 hours gave us a 5.18% return. We're doing good, right? And we closed out, you can see right here, we closed out quite a few positions already, and it was on the Euro JPY, Euro New Zealand CAD, and Canadian JPY right here. Those are the pairs that we closed out that were in positions, and we're still holding these trades at the moment right now, okay? So we don't have to force anything on. We certainly don't have to force anything on. So let's go ahead and take a look over here. So we're looking for price to go ahead and retrace, and then we'll jump in. Let's take a look at Aussie JPY. Aussie JPY, we said stand aside, right? Let's take a look and see why. If we go to Aussie JPY, you should have been a seller, right? Going south, but now that we go into support, or at least wanting to come down to support, we may want to go ahead and look to buy, all right? Buy of support, but we've got to come back down support. We've missed that, came pretty close to that, but not quite there, okay? Now we'll see and wait and see what happens to this. If we start seeing price go back up to resistance, we'll sell it. If price goes back down support here and hits and finds the support level to be strong, we'll then go ahead and look to go buy back up again, okay? So now let's go ahead and take a look at the Aussie New Zealand dollar. We said buy at support, right? And we're going to remain buying at support because why? Because price is still trading above the support level right here, right? So despite this bearish move that we're seeing right now, we want to still continue to buy long on New Zealand, Aussie New Zealand. Maybe the opportunity is not there yet, but when it does, we'll go ahead and buy it. Let's go take a look at Aussie US dollar. Aussie US dollar is set up right here. What do we want to do? We want to go ahead and buy Aussie US dollar, right? Look at this big bearish move right here. Tested the support level. We actually said last night, I actually updated last night, and I said prices hit support, activate buys. All right, if I go to my EA system right here, let's go take a look at the EA, and let's go take a look at Aussie US dollar. Here it is here. I'm going to go ahead and review the EA, and we should be buying only right now. There it is, buying only. All right, so I'm buying only on this, and this was deployed. If I look at my system right here, you can see that I actually deployed the system. Let's see if I go to the journal. That'll help it better. And then Aussie US dollar. There we go. Then we loaded it up, and we loaded it up last night. So as soon as we went ahead and hit that support down here, we started looking to go buy long, right? Now we just have to allow the system to calculate and put everything that needs to be put together in order to put us into a trade. Let me go to the actual 1 hour chart and take a look over here. So the 1 hour chart has gone bullish here, but if I go to the 15-minute time frame, the 15-minute time frame is going to go bearish and then bullish again. So we're not in on the 50-minute yet, but it looks like it may go ahead and pick us up in this week's of trading. Now, if I'm going to be picked up on this trade, let me go ahead and see what I'm looking for. I'm looking for price, all right, to go back above this level of support right here, trade it back, and maybe even take out the trend line. But if it doesn't take out the trend line, then all I'm really looking for is to trade it up to the backside of the trend line right here. So it may not be a long ride. And if the resistance holds there, all right, then I'm going to stay out of the trade on a buy, and I'm going to start looking to sell. So right here, I may go ahead and look to sell, but up until that point, we're going to go ahead and look to buy. All right. Now, if it breaks through the trend line, gets up to my next resistance, there's my next resistance. So we've got two resistance levels right here. I'm not going to go ahead and sell at those points because we are above the trend line. I'm going to rather wait for price to go ahead and move back down south. All right. Which means that I want to go ahead and do something like this. I want price to go ahead and trade back up here, all right, go through, hit resistance, come back, retest, and then look to buy here as we look for price to move back up higher, all right? So it's very important that we pick our spots. Pick our spots, don't get anxious, don't just try and trade everything that moves, because we want to make sure that we're absolutely finding the right place to go ahead and enter, all right? Very important that we do that. Now, this is on Aussie US dollar. Let's go ahead and take a look at some JPY crosses. Here is a Canadian JPY, and look at CAD JPY. All right, Canadian JPY, we were sellers at the top right here. Now that price has come back down to support here, I believe I really started thinking about buying. Let's take a look right here. Yep, there it is. Buy at support. I updated that yesterday. And I believe I've got the trading system now being activated to buy on the Canadian JPY. Let me find it out. Here it is. Canadian JPY. And let's see. Yep, buying option over here. So I'm looking to buy against that trade. Okay. So I'm going to buy against that, which means that I'm expecting price now to move back up again. All right. So buyers in the market. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next one right here. We've got, let's go to some Euro crosses, all right? Actually, in fact, let's look at Swiss JPY. Swiss JPY are pretty much the same. There it is, Swiss JPY. And Swiss JPY, check this out. You see this level of support right here from wave 1? I'm a buyer of that. Even though price dipped down right here, if we close up back above here, I'm going to look for price to continue to move back up. And the fact that we're in this range, I'm still expecting price to continue all the way up here to about 118.50. So this is a good place for us to buy. It's about an 850 pip opportunity, or 800 pips going long once we get in on the trade. Now let me go ahead and take a look and see if I've got myself ready to rock and roll on this. So Swiss JPY right here. Want to go ahead and take a look at the EA. Make sure that we're running it on buy only. Yes, we are. We're good to go. All right, going to buy only. So as soon as the EA has all the conditions lining up based on the logic, it's going to deploy me going bullish. That's what I want. All right. So I'm not going to do any work on this, and I'm just going to go ahead and follow the market's current movement, and I'm going to make sure that I have all my technical analysis drawn up to identify where I'm going to buy, where I'm going to sell. And all I really need is I need price to just go ahead and test that support or that resistance level. That's it. I don't need anything else to happen. I just need to go ahead and test that support and resistance level. Once it does that, I'm pretty much solid to go ahead and start deploying my system. Very important that you note that, right? Okay. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at some Euro crosses. Here we have, actually, you know what? Let's go to some New Zealand crosses. All right. So the New Zealand crosses right here is New Zealand CAD, very similar to what we have last night. All right. So let's go take a look here. Here's New Zealand CAD right here. And hey, listen here. We're coming off support right here. What are we looking at? We're looking for price to move all the way up here to the top. So where we are trading at the moment right now, we still got about 979 pips to go. All right. So we're expecting buys to go ahead and continue. Now we just recently got in. You can see right here, I'm buying already on this, and I'm going to continue to buy as long as, all right, as long as price stays above the support level right here. I'm going to continue to buy. If price breaks below here, then I'm going to wait for price to come back to retest it and then start selling. Okay, that's on the New Zealand Canadian. Let's go to New Zealand Swiss. And on New Zealand Swiss, with price coming back down here, all right, we haven't quite hit support. Now it's pulled back up quite a bit at the moment right now, which means that we could move up to the backside of the trend line. So there could be some intraday scalping going along right here. I believe I stood on the sideline on this one right here. Yes, I have. Stand aside, I said, all right? We're in this bearish channel, stand aside. And the reason for that is I really wanted to go ahead and hit support down here, all right? It's gone ahead and done this big wick down here. Now, if it closes out with this big indecision candle, then maybe I can go ahead and start thinking about drawing in a downward trend line, look for price to trade above it, then look for the retest, and then trade it back up to this level right here, right? I could certainly go ahead and do that if I want to look for an opportunity on this trade. Now, I'm not going to do anything as of right now because clearly it's very indecisive as to how it wants to go. But if I start seeing a break of resistance, then become support, I'm a buyer, right? And I'll buy it back to the top of the channel. Because then it's telling me that this level that we came back to retest right here, and if I draw a trend line up right here, it tells me that maybe one of these lows right here was acting as a support level. I like to look at the significant low, which is this one right here, and I didn't see price coming back down here. So I'm not quite ready to start looking to buy yet. But I can do some short-term trading as price moves back up into this back, above that the inner trend line. All right, let's go to the New Zealand JPY. New Zealand JPY came back down to the support right here. Now, there's two supports. We've got an inner channel right here, and then we've got the outer channel. We came to support right here. You notice how price is trading back and forth between the outer channel and the inner channel right here. So when I came down to the support last night, I decided that I'm going to go ahead and buy at support. There it is there. Buy at support. I updated last night. And if you can take a look over here, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the EA at and New Zealand JPY. And where is New Zealand JPY? There it is. Okay, so New Zealand JPY, take a look at the EA, and I'm buying only right now. So I am looking to buy on this particular pair right here. All right. So I'm a buyer on New Zealand JPY, and I want price to push back up to the top of the channel. If we trade back below and it stays below, then I'll go ahead and look for price to retest the inside channel and then sell it towards the bottom of the channel down here. But right now, I'm a buyer. Okay, looking to buy it back up to the top of the channel. Let's go to the US dollar. This is New Zealand US dollar right here. And take a look at this one. All right, here we have New Zealand US dollar. And take a look at the support that we had right here. If you look at this chart right here, it's a no-brainer, right? It makes sense for us to want to go ahead and continue to buy off that support. So if you're looking at any sort of trading on this, you should be a buyer. Now that spike down below, just enough to catch people, catch retail traders that are anxious and impatient. This right here, if you got in on this, brokers, and you thought that maybe you may have caught it right here at the top, brokers may have gone ahead and slipped you by giving you that available price down here, and now you're in the red. All right. So very importantly, when you see this type of opportunity here, it's normally an opportunity to go ahead and look to start buying. Right. Specifically when it goes ahead and pops back inside the support right there at 62.06. How big is that? I mean, that's crazy. Look at this. All right. Based on the high right here and the low, that's 438 pips. Now, this is a very low average trading range. This pair runs at a very low average trading range. And so 450 pips is quite a lot for this particular pair in a matter of 20, 30 minutes. And that's what happened. But now we are back inside. And so what are we doing? We're thinking still bullish. We're thinking price is going to be back up here. So what are we going to do? We are going to buy at support. That's exactly our game plan right here. Price tests the support, so we're buying. All right? And so if I go to my EA again, and I'll go ahead and check out New Zealand US dollar right here, just double checking, making sure I do have buying opportunity. Yes, buying only set up right here. And I'm going to be buying only on this pair. All right? And so that's how we've been managing our trades to allow us to be able to go ahead and profit 9.5% this month. You can see that we could close out 6% last month. This month we had 3.4, and we still got positions in, and we're still looking for trading opportunities. Our strike rate has dropped to about 63%, but that's okay. We're still showing good rate of return on our investment, and so we'll continue to follow the trading strategy as we are right now. So that pretty much gives you the updates on what we're doing right now on the pairs that were very much affected by the movement that we saw last night. And remember, traders, what we're doing is we're simply doing exactly what we do every single week. All right, we're going to go ahead and address the technical analysis based on trend line. And then based on those trend lines, we're going to identify a buy and a sell zone. And when we go ahead and identify and price moves into that area, which is also off support and resistance, we're then going to go ahead and deploy trading systems that have their own logic in on the lower time frame. And the one I'm using is called End Zone Trader. And what it does, it basically goes ahead and deploys buy and sell options off a 1 hour time frame and a 50-minute time frame based on an Ichimoku cloud. That's it. There's a lot of risk management rules placed inside it, but it's going to give me the options to be able to not only get in on the trade, but then go ahead and add on positions in that direction. And that's all we really need. Keeping it simple, not complicating things. All right, let's hear. A lot of more movement taking place this week. A lot of more movement taking place. If you want to get access to my trading room on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, in the descriptions are ways to be able to get involved in my trading room. We're going to be talking about more currency pairs inside the trading room and addressing those movements that we've just seen out this week. And also, we're going to keep an eye on exactly what's taking place this week and whether or not we should continue to buy or sell a certain currency pair or just stand aside. The coronavirus is still an issue. We're still going to see a lot of panic in the market. We're going to see central banks making decisions. We are going to see stock markets taking dives just because of the fact that the coronavirus is growing and growing every day. And it is becoming a huge issue because of GDP, because of spending. Of course, rate decisions need to be cut in order to be able to stimulate the economy, which the central banks are starting to take action. Are they going to continue? Remember, the US cut rates 50 basis points last week when they were only supposed to come to the table on the 18th of March, which means they're really jumping way ahead to make sure that they are trying to do whatever they can to stop us from going into depression. All right, so very important, all right. We are going to monitor the technical analysis, all right. Fundamentals are important to know about them and understand them to a certain point, but it's not the decision making we are going to place trades on that's going to affect the way we are currently looking at the market from a technical basis. Fundamentals are important to know, but it's the technical aspects of trading that we really focus on. And we're using a very simple concept, support and resistance, and that is it. All right, traders, well, that's pretty much it for us. We're going to go ahead and monitor this throughout the week. We'll come back again, and then I'll post another video next week on the updates and see where we're at. But the trades that I've looked at now, the Aussie and New Zealand crosses, pretty much those pairs are setting up for opportunities. Even though we've had such big moves, it's creating an opportunity for us. And listen, we need volatility, right? But if you're on the right side of the trend, you're going to be able to gain the big moves that we're getting right now with ease. And that's why it's important, traders, not only to be able to know exactly which side of the trend to be, but also to diversify your risk, okay? And I know that there's a lot of traders that may be trading some sort of counter trend strategy, or maybe doing some position trading that may not quite be in the direction of the trend. And that's okay, provided that you have diversification, all right? Diversify yourself into different ways of trading the market. Rather than just one strategy, have at least two strategies that you're focused on to be able to diversify the risk. All right. With that being said, very important before I leave, equity management is key at all times. Make absolutely certain you're managing the risk properly, whether you're doing counter trading, position trading, swing trading, it doesn't really matter. You have to make sure that your risk appetite is well inside your means, so you don't over leverage your trading account. All right. With that being said, I'm the FX Big Dog, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.